What took place on a chilly morning was a heartwarming cause. The Physical Therapy Student Association hosted its annual Stroke Awareness 5K on Sunday, April 19th from 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. The Run, Walk, or Roll for Stroke Awareness event supports the stroke support group that meets at GovState's campus and raises awareness about stroke prevention and recovery. The participants were able to run or walk through Governor State University's 750-acre campus, which promotes the event's community-focused atmosphere. Of course, at the end, winners were awarded at the medal ceremony. But for everyone supporting this cause, they are all winners. All of the proceeds from this event will go towards stroke awareness. For GovState News, I'm Jalen Pia.
Governor State University celebrated a major milestone with the official opening of its new soccer complex, along with a championship ring ceremony recognizing its student athletes. University leaders, students, athletes, and community members gathered for the event, highlighting both growth and achievement on campus. Dr. Esther led the ribbon-cutting ceremony, officially opening the new soccer complex and marking a new chapter for Jaguar athletics. The state-of-the-art facility is designed to enhance the student-athlete experience, offering a modern space for training and competition. University officials say the investment reflects a continued commitment to providing opportunities for success both on and off the field. Following the ribbon cutting, the focus shifted to honoring excellence. Members of the university's championship soccer team were presented with rings recognizing their hard work and dedication. Coaches and staff highlighted the team's resilience, emphasizing the discipline and unity that contributed to their success. For many players, the moment served as both a celebration of past achievements and motivation for what's ahead. Officials say the new soccer complex will serve generations of student athletes and success. This has been Noah Norris for GovState News.
Good evening. I'm Brittany Blakemore, reporting Rep. Eric Swalwell and Tony Gonzalez's resignation from Congress moments before their House colleagues were prepared to set in motion their swift removal. Both lawmakers, resigning one after the other, were facing unrelated House ethics investigations into alleged sexual misconduct, in some cases with women who had worked with them. In addition to the allegations of sexual assault, 3 other women alleged other sexual misconduct, including that Swalwell sent unsolicited nude photos and graphic messages. Recently, another woman alleged Swalwell drugged, raped, and choked her in a California hotel room in 2018.
He raped me for hours and then he choked me until I lost consciousness.
On the other hand, Gonzalez acknowledged the affair that led to suicide in an interview with a conservative talk show host.
I had a lapse in judgment and there was a lack of faith. And I take full responsibility for those actions. Since then, I've reconciled with my wife, Angel. I've asked God to forgive me, which he has, and my faith is as strong as ever.
He is also facing allegations that he sent a former campaign staffer lewd texts, which the congressman has not addressed. House Speaker Mike Johnson said he thinks both Swalwell and Gonzalez made the right decision to resign. I'm Brittany Blakemore, reporting for Jaguar News at Noon.
Hi, I'm Mia Romo, reporting from Governor State's E-Lounge, where students will be competing in a talent show as part of the campus's Spring Fest celebration. In celebration of Springfest, GovState's Student Activity Council organized a talent show for students to show off their unique skills and compete to win a $100 prize.
The process of planning an event like this requires us to first host rehearsals, and then from there select who are the best acts, and then we go through the rehearsal process. That's about 6 weeks of people just showing us what they got and what song they want to sing and really working to develop their act. And then from there, it's showtime.
The show features students dancing, singing, rapping, and even performing poetry. Audience members cheered for their favorite performances, but in the end, only one student came out on top.
I think these events are a really good way for students to show off their creative sides and express their creativity during like stressful times, because it's really important to still have those creative outlets even during like final season and stuff. So I think it's a great thing that the school does.
Yes, the turnout was amazing. I feel like the crowd was very interactive, just very overall uplifting.
Governor State's Student and Activity Council is looking ahead as they plan to bring back this event for students next spring.
We're going to continue to make the talent show a staple within SpringFest programming. So next spring, people should mark their calendars to be a part of it, start working on your act, and be ready to audition.
I'm Mia Romo, reporting for Jaguar News at Noon.
On Thursday, April 2nd, President Trump announced the firing of Attorney General Pam Bondi. He stated that she would be transitioning to a new job in a private sector, and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche would serve as Attorney General in her place. Bondi's ties to Trump go back to 2016, when she was part of his defense team during his first impeachment trial and was also involved in his effort to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Her handling of the Epstein files is considered to be what led to Trump's decision to remove her from her position. Bondi is not the first cabinet member recently released from their position, as last month Trump fired Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem as he was frustrated with her performance at recent congressional hearings. Administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency, Lee Zeldin, is in consideration to replace Bondi. This is Connie Du Bois with GovState News.
3 schools in Fargo, North Dakota were placed on lockdown Friday after authorities received reports of a possible gunman near a school. Fargo North High School, Washington Elementary School, and Ben Franklin Middle School were all placed under lockdown as police respond to the reported threat. Multiple law enforcement agencies, including local police and state patrol officers, searched the area, school grounds, and nearby parking lots. After a long search using cameras, drones, and officers on the ground, authorities determined that the report was false and not credible. Officials say the lockdowns were put in place as a precaution to ensure the safety of students, staff, and the surrounding community. No injuries were reported, and officials later gave the all-clear, allowing schools to resume normal operations. Authorities are continuing to investigate the source of the false report, which may have been a part of a swatting incident. This has been Noah Norris for GovState News. A Florida school bus driver is facing dozens of child neglect charges after a frightening incident involving a train and a bus full of students. Authorities say the crash happened in Bushnell, Florida, located in Sumter County, when a school bus carrying students was crossing railroad tracks and was clipped by an oncoming train. Officials say the impact was not catastrophic, but it could have been much worse. The bus had multiple students on board at the time, raising serious concerns about their safety. Emergency crews responded quickly to the scene, evacuating students and checking for injuries. Fortunately, no serious injuries were reported. Investigators say the driver's actions leading up to the crash are now under scrutiny. As a result, the driver is now facing dozens of child neglect charges, one for each child who was on the bus during the incident. The situation has alarmed parents and community members as questions grow about school transportation safety and proper procedures at railroad crossings. Officials are reminding drivers to always use extreme caution when approaching train tracks, especially when transporting children. This has been Noah Norris for GovState News. A dramatic helicopter rescue in Minnesota is drawing attention after a conservation officer was seriously injured in a remote wooded area. Officials say the incident happened near Plainview, Minnesota, in the Whitewater Wildlife Management Area. Minnesota Department of Natural Resources officer Annette Schlag was injured after falling nearly 20 feet while removing an illegal deer stand. The area's steep, heavily wooded terrain made it impossible for ground crews to safely move her. That's when the Minnesota Air Rescue Team was called in to assist. Rescue crews used a helicopter hoist to lower a medic into the forest, secure Schlag, and lift her out of the rugged area to safety. Officials say the operation required precise coordination between state patrol pilots and emergency responders. After being airlifted, Schlag was transported to medical care. Authorities say she is now recovering at home and is expected to make a full recovery soon. Officials are also praising the teamwork and quick response to help prevent the situation from becoming even more serious. The Minnesota Air Rescue Team says operations like this highlight the challenges of emergency response in remote areas. This has been Noah Norris for GovState News.
Los Angeles police say singer David Anthony Burke, also known as David, has been arrested in connection with the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Authorities have not released full details, and the case remains under investigation. The remains of Celeste Rivas Hernandez were discovered inside David's Tesla, a detail that has raised many questions as officials work to determine exactly what happened. According to the district attorney's office, charges have been filed against Burke.
Today I am announcing the charges against David Anthony Burke, the musician known as David, spelled D4VD, in connection with the brutal and horrific murder of Celeste, a 14-year-old at that time. These charges include the most serious charges that a DA's office can bring, that is first-degree murder with special circumstances. These special circumstances carry with it, along with the first-degree murder charge, a maximum sentence of life without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. The determination on whether or not the district attorney's office will seek the death penalty will be made at a later time.
During his arraignment, he pleaded not guilty to all counts. Officials say the investigation is ongoing. So far, detectives have not publicly identified a motive, but say they are continuing to interview witnesses and review evidence. In the meantime, Burke remains in custody and is expected to return to court for future proceedings. For the victim's family, the focus remains on the mourning loss of their daughter while seeking justice. They are asking for privacy during this difficult time as they navigate both grief and the legal process. Police are urging anyone who may have information related to the case to come forward, emphasizing that even small details could be critical. I'm Kate Eisen with GovState News.
Across the country on Saturday, March 28th, No Kings protests took place and millions of people stepped out in support. This is the third in a series of protests this year that aim to oppose decisions of President Trump's administration, including immigration policies, the Iran war, and transgender rights. There were 3,100 events registered across the country and an expected 9 million participants, according to organizers. The flagship rally happened in St. Paul, Minnesota, while other cities hosted their own. Bruce Springsteen was chosen to headline in St. Paul, and he praised the state's efforts as well as performed the song Streets of Minneapolis that he wrote following the shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy by ICE agents.
The power and the solidarity of the people of Minneapolis and of Minnesota was an inspiration to the entire country.
Other celebrity supporters across the country included Padma Lakshmi and Robert De Niro. White House spokesperson Abigail Jackson dismissed the protests as the product of leftist funding networks with little real public support. This is Connie Du Bois with GovState News.
A judge in Durham County, North Carolina, has ruled that TikToker Brene Kennard must pay $40,000 following a civil case tied to an alleged affair involving her manager. The decision comes after a recent hearing where both sides presented arguments over a judicial bond, stemming from a lawsuit originally filed back in November. That lawsuit accused Kennard of having an affair with her manager, Durham resident Tim Montague. The case was brought by Montague's now ex-wife, Akira Montague, who claims the relationship caused serious personal harm.
Is it fair to say that you have gotten some payments just from people visiting your page due to this case?
Yes.
Do you expect that to last?
Probably not. It really just doesn't look good to the public eye.
In court filings, Akira Montague alleges the affair led to mental anguish, damage to her health, and disrupted her family, impacting her children by breaking up what had been a two-parent household. The case falls under North Carolina's alienation of affection law, one of the few states where someone can sue a third party for interfering in a marriage. These cases are rare, but in states like North Carolina, courts can award damages if there's enough evidence that a relationship directly impacted a marriage. The case has quickly gained attention online, becoming one of the most talked about recent examples of alienation of affection claims. At this point, the court has ordered the $40,000 payment, though it's unclear if an appeal will follow. I'm Kate Eisen with GovState News.
In Tennessee, High school students are getting a rare opportunity to step into the world of finance by running a real credit union right on their school campus. Students participate in a hands-on program in partnership with the Tennessee Valley Federal Credit Union. Inside the school, students take on real banking responsibilities. They help process deposits, withdrawals, and account services, working in a setting that mirrors an actual financial institution. Before working directly with customers, students go through training in financial literacy, communication, and customer service. Staff members supervise closely to ensure accuracy and provide guidance as students learn. Educators say the goal is to give students more than just classroom knowledge. They say the program builds confidence, responsibility, and practical skills that prepare students for future careers in business, banking, and finance. The on-campus credit union also serves students and staff, making it both a learning environment and a functioning financial resource for the school community. School leaders say programs like this are part of a growing push to provide career-ready experience before graduation. For these students, it's a chance to learn how money works by managing it in real time. This has been Noah Norris for GovState News.
Fight fire with fire? No. Fight fire with sound. A new applied technology is changing how fires could be dealt with in the future. In San Bernardino County, California, the fire department had tested a system developed by Sonic Fire Tech that uses sound waves instead of water to put out flames. They had set small isolated trees and even grease on fire for this test. This system detects fires using infrared sensors, then releases infrasound waves that disrupt the oxygen in affected areas.
We vibrate the oxygen at a rate where fire can't consume it, and it breaks the chemical reaction.
A big factor in what makes a fire is oxygen. Take away the oxygen and the flames die down.
We use infrasound, which are sound waves that are inaudible to the human ear.
The technology is also currently being developed for usage in homes, hoping to replace water sprinklers.
A water sprinkler system is highly ineffective at putting out a grease fire. It actually spreads the fire and makes it worse. But yet we're mandated to have sprinklers above our kitchen stoves. And so our system was shown to suppress the fire, prevent the ignition from occurring with an autonomous detection device.
If you keep a fire small because a fire was detected while it was small and put out right away, that's going to save money. That's going to help with insurance rates.
With this new technology raising benefits like reducing water usage and improving fire response, it most importantly helps prevent small fires from turning into an uncontrollable disaster. For GovState News, this is Jalen Pia.
Rising oil prices tied to the conflict with Iran are driving up the cost of jet fuel and gas prices. As a result, carriers are beginning to pass those costs onto travelers, raising ticket prices just as the busy summer season approaches. Travel analysts say airfare has already started climbing, with some routes seeing double-digit increases compared to this time last year. And with the demand still high, prices could continue to rise in the upcoming weeks.
In Europe, they're canceling flights, thousands of flights already preemptively because they may not even be able to get enough jet fuel. There are shortages.
It's not just flights, but drivers are also seeing higher prices at the pump. Gas costs has been creeping up as global supply concerns grow. Any disruption to oil production or shipping routes can quickly ripple across the global market, leading to higher costs for consumers. Travel experts say booking early and staying flexible with dates could help offset some of the rising costs. But if the conflict continues, prices for both gas and airfare are expected to likely keep climbing. I'm Kate Eisen with GovState News.
Medical marijuana use among women in the United States is on the rise, reflecting changing attitudes and growing interest in alternative health treatments. Recent data shows a significant increase in cannabis use among women over the past 2 decades, with usage rates more than doubling since the early 2000s. Many women report turning to medical marijuana for relief from issues like anxiety, chronic pain, sleep disorders, and other health-related concerns. Experts say shifting laws and increased legalization across the country are helping drive this trend, making cannabis more accessible and socially accepted. Health professionals note that women are more likely to use non-smoking forms of cannabis, such as edibles, oils, or topical treatments, often for wellness purposes. Despite growing acceptance, some stigma still remains, and researchers say more studies are needed to better understand the long-term effects and benefits. Advocates say continued education and open conversations are helping reduce stigma and empower women to make informed health choices. Experts also emphasize the importance of consulting healthcare providers and following regulations as medical marijuana use continues to expand. This has been Noah Norris for Gulf State News.
If you are one of the many Gmail users with an old or embarrassing email address, you might want to listen up. This one could be for you. Google had announced that their users would be able to update their Gmail addresses without losing their existing data. The update is aimed at longtime users who might want to replace their outdated or unprofessional usernames without needing to create a new account. Google first launched its email service back on April 1st, 2004, and since then, over 1 billion users have been using their platform, and many still rely on the accounts they created years ago. This option gives users a chance to update their email address names to better reflect their personal or professional identity while still being able to keep their messages, files, and contacts. The feature has come out this year and will be available to users worldwide. For GovState News, I'm Jalen Pia. Is it good boy or good bot? New technology is changing how security can be managed in public spaces. AI-powered robotic drone dogs were recently showcased by Asalon Robotics at a conference in Las Vegas. Asalon's drone dog uses the base of the Boston Dynamics Spot that was released back in 2020. These drone dogs can serve as mobile surveillance units, helping monitor areas with humans in real time.
His eyes and ears all beam back to a security center where we have operators working 24/7 that are seeing what the dog sees, hearing what the dog hears, and then reacting to any threats that happen there on site.
They would have the option to either patrol on their own or be controlled remotely, working alongside human security teams during events and daily operations. Developers say that their goal with the drone dogs are to improve safety in high-traffic locations like stadiums, airports, and large public gatherings.
It's not a scary robot like in Terminator or AI, but what it does is it secures facilities and just keeps people from being where they're not supposed to be. We like to say it protects the people from the property, and it protects the property from the people. AI not only is going to be able to detect abnormalities or detect threats, and then AI at that point, again with human direction, will be able to say, call the police, call on-site security. These are the things that need to happen next.
Asalon's demonstration shows how advanced technology is becoming more integrated in modern security systems, now and for the future. For GovState News, I'm Jalen Pia.
For Brittany Bass, raising a son with autism has meant learning how to navigate a system that isn't always easy to understand. Between therapies, school challenges, and day-to-day routines, she says one of the biggest struggles wasn't just access to resources, it was feeling alone. That experience led Bass to start Amuse for Autism, a nonprofit aimed to connecting families who are facing similar situations.
There wasn't any local organizations that provided social recreational opportunities or even educated the community about autism and possible meltdowns or where the family should turn when they're looking for resources.
The group organizes small events and meetups designed to be sensory-friendly and accessible, giving parents and kids a space and sense of community. Families who take part say having this kind of space makes a difference. While the organization is still growing, it's already starting to build a small network of support in the community. Bass says she plans to continue expanding these efforts, focusing on connection and shared experience rather than trying to solve everything at once. I'm Kay Eisen with GovState News.
Comments from Donald Trump are drawing renewed attention after a study found they may have influenced how Americans use a common medication. The focus is on Tylenol, one of the most widely used pain relievers in the country. A recent study published in The Lancet found that the use of Tylenol dropped by about 10% among pregnant patients in emergency rooms after Trump suggested a link between the drug and autism. Major medical organizations, including pediatric and obstetric groups, continue to emphasize that there is no proven causal link between Tylenol and autism. Researchers warn the decline in use may have led to some patients to go without treatment for pain or fever conditions that can pose risks during pregnancy. Health experts say the situation highlights how influential public figures can be when it comes to medical decisions. This has been Noah Norris for GovState News.
A lost piece of history was brought back to life through modern technology. Researchers at the Library of Congress have restored an almost 100-year-old recording of the famous record-breaking aviator Amelia Earhart.
Something happened which has never happened before in my 12 years of flying.
The previously lost audio came from her speech that she gave at London to New York in 1932, which describes dangerous moments during her 15-hour solo flight across the Atlantic.
That is, the altimeter, the instrument required to register altitude, height above ground, failure.
The original recording was stored on a fragile record included in her book, The Fun of It, which released just years before her disappearance.
The hand swung around the dial in such a manner that I knew it was out of commission for the rest of the night.
Using specialized technology called Irene, researchers were able to map out the grooves of the record and convert it into clear digital audio. This restored recording is now available for the public to hear online on the Library of Congress's website. This discovery led to the restoration and preservation of an important piece of aviation history for future generations to come. For GovState News, I'm Jalen Pia.
Australian authorities are investigating a nearly 20-year-old sexual assault allegation against global pop star Katy Perry. The singer has strongly denied the claim, calling the allegation false. Officials say the investigation is still in its early stages and no charges have been filed at this time. The situation is quickly gaining international attention as fans and critics wait for more details to emerge. Major backlash is unfolding overseas after Kanye West was announced as a headliner for a major UK music festival. Two big-name sponsors, Pepsi and Diageo, have officially pulled out of the event in response. The move highlights ongoing controversies surrounding the rapper and raises questions about how the festival will navigate artist bookings moving forward. In sports entertainment, WNBA star Angel Reese is on the move. Angel Reese has been traded and is set to play for Atlanta, marking a significant shift in her professional career. Fans are already buzzing about what this could mean for the team's future and the league overall. Ariana Grande is preparing to release her 8th studio album, Petal, later this summer. The album drop comes just ahead of her upcoming tour, signaling a major return to music for the pop star. Meanwhile, Rihanna continues to make history. She's now the first woman to surpass 200 million certified singles, solidifying her place as one of the most successful artists of all time. In Minneapolis, thousands are expected to gather to honor music legend Prince on the 10th anniversary of his passing. City leaders say the multi-day celebration will include music, food, and dancing, keeping his legacy alive in the city he called home. According to reports, Harry Styles and Zoe Kravitz are engaged. While the couple has kept their relationship relatively private, fans are celebrating the news across social media. Over the weekend, Hollywood came together to celebrate comedian legend Eddie Murphy, who received the prestigious AFI Life Achievement Award. Stars including Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci were also making headlines reflecting on nearly 20 years since The Devil Wears Prada first hit theaters. Pop icon Madonna has announced a release date for the sequel of her 2005 album, Confessions on the Dance Floor. Fans are eagerly awaiting what's next from the Queen of Pop. And finally, firefighters were called to begin melting rapper Drake's Iceman sculpture in downtown Toronto. The unusual situation quickly went viral, turning into one of the internet's most talked about moments of the day. That's all for your Hollywood Buzz. I'm Kay Eisen with GovState News.